One of our most recent clients switched over from a call center service to my agency's services, and they dropped from 12 leads a month to only 3, yet only 2 weeks into our engagement, they started recommending our services to other businesses. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pago Academy YouTube channel. Welcome to another video. Today, I would like to talk to you a little bit about quantity versus quality within a business lead environment. Everything that I talk about here on the channel, as you might know by now, is driven from and drawn from my experience in B2B sales. This accumulates to about 19 years at this moment in time, and the last 7 of them have been through with and via my own business, Pago Consulting, where we help a very specific business type scale their sales operations, improve their sales performance. We work exclusively with young bootstrapped companies to help them improve their enterprise sales environments. These companies have limited resources, so we've had to work sometimes on a shoestring budget to get the work done. That means that over the past couple of years, we've really learned how to generate rapid traction with minimal resources. That's the sort of stuff that we kind of cover. The things that we've learned throughout the years and the topics that I cover are drawn from that line of work. Check out some of the stuff on the channel. If you like some of the videos, consider subscribing. So the bottom line is this: make sure that everybody involved in the sales process, whether they're internal or external, truly gets why you're selling to the types of businesses that you are selling to, why they benefit from the service or the product that you sell. And if they understand truly why that is, how it impacts their lives, how it improves their lives, then they should understand the criteria that they should adhere to when they're qualifying. If they can't put that together, you're probably not working with the right resource and you're probably not working with the right SDR. As an SDR, if you are an SDR or somebody who is responsible for filling the top of funnel for your account executive on your team, or maybe for your clients, if that's the kind of business that you run, make sure that you have the conversation with whoever you need to have them with so that you showcase that you need to and want to understand that ultimate end objective. You need to understand why the impact is what it is and why that impact is specific to that type of business and maybe not to another business. That will make you understand the criteria. It will also showcase to your superiors, to your clients, that you are not there for the fluff of just generating leads. You're there for the bottom line. You're there for the actual impact on the organization. Now, I don't know about you, but if anybody hears that type of a conversation, whether you're a business leader, a sales leader, an account executive, or a client, that's going to be music to their ears. At least that's my experience. That's what's really helped my agency kind of find our little corner of the market where, by simply stating that, hey, listen, we're just focused on getting you more sales, and everything that we do has to align with that, even if that means that we have to shut off certain leads and have to drop in volume. That's typically a very trustworthy, trust-building type of a conversation to be having. So back to the example of the client that kind of is raving about our services. And why is that? How do you drop from 12 leads a month to 3 and yet are super satisfied? Well, it really is dead simple. It's because out of those 12 leads, maybe 11 and a half of them were suboptimal, and that's putting it mildly. Yet when they moved over to us and they were, given 3 leads, these 3 leads, all of them generated an actual sales opportunity. That's because what we do is we focus on quality over quantity. And what I see a lot within sales organizations, large and small, is that there's a massive disconnect between the top of the funnel work and the actual closing of the deal. The opening is done very much from a quantity performance-driven metric, and as an afterthought, they kind of try and work on quality as well, but it's always get the volume in first and then we'll kind of start looking at whether it's the right volume. And that kind of is worrisome. Like, it always ends up being a waste of time, energy, and leads to frustration. Now, that can be done, that disconnect, that setup, I see that happening in-house entirely. That's when you'll typically have like an SDR and account executive type of a setup where one person, which could equally be a resource and methodology or simply an approach, is responsible for filling the top of the funnel, and then another, again, person, resource, methodology system is responsible for the closing elements. When one person is being judged by a simple volume-driven equation, which is, you have to put a certain amount of volume in the top of the funnel, then that is going to be their first and foremost focus, because they know that if they keep doing that, then their job is safe. They are being judged, at least not super harshly. They can then always worry about getting the quality up to par, up to scratch as well, because then they know that at least nobody can fault them for having brought in the leads. The problem is that, of course, on the other side, the account executive or whoever it is that's responsible for bringing in the actual sales is dealing with a lot of rubbish and is getting super frustrated. Now, of course, this can be amplified if you work with an external resource, and more so when that external resource is being paid on a performance basis, typically a pay-per-lead type of a setup. Then they're really going to go gung-ho with just kind of chucking things over the fence. And again, the types of businesses that we work with, typically startups, they go from nothing to then something with that type of service. So they go from nothing to all of a sudden 5, 6, 7 leads. And so they're kind of like, wow, that's pretty good. Until then later on they realize, yeah, but they're very suboptimal and we're having conversations that don't really make much sense for us and for the people on the other end of the phone or the virtual sales call as well. And then typically with startups, it takes a little while for them to realize that, hey, we shouldn't be doing this. We're just wasting money, time, and resources. So wherever you are within the sales ecosystem, whether you're a closer, you're an opener, you really want to try and advocate, at least according to me, based on my experience, for a deeply integrated setup where every moving part of the sales system has one final ultimate end goal in mind, and that is money in the bank, actual closed sales, signatures on the dotted line. When everybody is very clear that that is the ultimate end objective, then things will typically run a lot more smoothly. That means that the person that is responsible for bringing in the top of funnel knows that they're being judged equally by the amount of sales that the entire organization makes. So their performance metric is driven directly to that point. Now, that means that they should be, if the criteria is set correct, and if they are well informed as to why certain lead criteria are set in a certain way, they should be doing a good job at bringing in the right type of appointments, the right type of leads. Now, again, wherever you are in the ecosystem, whether you're working for a small business, a large business, whether you own the business, you want to have the conversations internally with whoever you need to have them with to get that locked in. If you feel like there is a disconnect, if you feel like you're being judged on volume or somebody is being judged on volume and kind of quality drops by the wayside, you want to basically raise the flag, you want to slam on the brakes, and you want to kind of have that conversation internally and say like, yeah, I know performance metrics are important. I know hitting goals and hitting targets and hitting objectives is important, but I feel like we're missing the bigger picture here. We're kind of working in a very suboptimal way where we're kind of squandering our resources, because what could happen is that the person responsible for the top of funnel is only half understanding the qualification criteria that they have to tick off their list as they're speaking to possible prospects. Unless they truly, really deeply understand those criteria as they are, or as they should be linked to the final ultimate end objective, which is selling, then you're going to continue in that kind of vicious circle of every now and again working with a certain percentage of suboptimal leads, suboptimal sales meetings and sales calls. Right, so that's that for this video for this week. I hope you found some value. If you did, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Again, check out some of the videos on the channel and consider subscribing, because I do my very best to release regular content on the stuff that I see happening every day with our team and with our clients, specifically related to what works for them. Thanks again. Enjoy what you're doing today. Be productive, and I will see you in one of the next videos. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.